Hey, what's going on out there, everybody? This is Samuel Leggy here representing Team JVS, here to give you guys a series review for something that I didn't suspect was coming. I had it literally ambushed me. And to be fair and frank, I've not seen all of Superman and Lois, but what I've seen the first two seasons, it was amazing. And lo and behold, we have a brand new Superman series called My Adventures with Superman. Now, I initially was kind of like, I don't know. This is probably like kiddie, but it's debuting on Adult Swim and Max. Ironically, as you're watching this right now, it's on and available. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it. It is amazing. And I'm gonna break down all the whys, all the in-betweens. But it just ambushed me because I had no preconceived notions of it. I literally think the only thing I saw was this picture right here. And I was like, is that Jimmy Olsen? Okay, that's a little weird. And then, I guess this is Lois. She got short hair. Okay. And this Clark is just like it's such a anime style for their expressions and their movements. And I was kind of like, is this gonna work? But lo and behold, like this low key actually has some of the most natural, organic progressions of Superman in a first encounter that I've seen in a very long time. It brought me back to the basics. If you looked at Superman, the animated series that came around the same time as Justice League, and of course the Batman animated series, this is something else entirely because they approach it in such a way that you're really seeing Superman refined. Um, I don't want to make a comparison to it, but if you've looked at Man of Steel and you see how they've pivoted to taking time, how he progressively becomes Superman versus just making him immediately Superman. This show is about that. But it just happens to have, Lois and Jimmy and how they get their humble beginnings and starting. And it's so much more on the light side that it takes all the most important parts and the facets of um, Clark's psychology, his concern with who he really is, to the science fiction aspects of his actual history and the technology side of it, and then blends in all the reporter journalism shenanigans. This is the thing, if you take the older Lois and Clark that used to come on and the shenanigans with that and the comedic timing and the connection, the human connections, and you emerge that with what they've been doing, keeping it grounded and at times very serious at times and very emotional at times with Superman and Lois, and then you merge the action of Man of Steel and how anything and everything could go and unravel in front of you. That is this series. I don't even know what to put it, because it takes from all the specific pieces of who Superman is and like literally shoots it into 22 minutes per episode. I've seen the first three episodes already. So far, I have exposed to the first seven. I am definitely going to watch more. But even in the first three episodes, you get the real foundations that make Superman Superman. And it is so fantastic because as it's going on, I'm like, this is a callback to this. This is a moment of this. Because I'm also a Smallville fan. And so it's like watching a young Clark, when he first develops like his ability to move fast, or his ability to understand, what certain things of hearing and seeing stuff. Like it's all sprinkled in through there, but it doesn't take too much time to get there. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So it's like if you're watching, you're hoping like, oh, I want him to have this immediately. He may, but throughout the course of the episode, it's not going to be like, oh, you got three full seasons, to get him to a certain point. Like, no, like he is Superman, but he very much so is Clark. And I think that's the thing that nails this. And I know this is a very gory picture that I have up here, but the best person I can kind of put it is Jack Quaid. Jack Quaid is Clark Kent, and he is Superman, and he is playing it so well because Quaid is very how do I say this? He's nerdy, but yet he's very expressive, and yet he's very strong, but then his exterior doesn't show that. And that is Clark. Like Clark is very tall, but he's very bumbling. He second guesses himself. And that's the thing that makes it work. I think the difference with this is that with this version of Clark, he is not pretending. He's literally trying to be what he's supposed to be. And like biologically, he is very different. And how that's kind of coming to fruition is so fascinating that I really love what they're doing with that. Another cast member they put in this one is Alice Lee. Alice Lee is playing the role of Lois Lane. And the thing about her is this is the first Lois Lane that I can say effectively. Well, I take that back. It's the second. The Lois is on Superman Lois. I really love her. I think she does a great job. I used to love Terry Hatcher, but I think progressively as the season went on, it's just too much, romantic foolishness. But with this Lois, like she's so cool and yet so Lois. Like she's forthcoming. She's not like a disconnect. Like she's not too rude. Like she's just cool enough. And I think it works for how this show is supposed to function. And it's so fascinating. There's another actor who plays the role of Jimmy Olsen. His name is Ishmael. Ishmael Shaheed plays Jimmy Olsen, and he is such a natural. Like his timing for comedic it works so well, and it complements the show as a whole. So again, I mean, I can go and keep going and going and going about why this show works, but I think it just surprises me, and I think it's going to surprise you. It's going to surprise you on the levels of action. The animation, it's got like this anime style to how the characters are so hyper animated and fresh, but then the feel of it gives you remembrances of certain segments of Superman's history that you remember. Like I'm a Smallville fan. I'm also grew up with Superman and Lois. I also grew up, well, not Superman, Lois and Clark. I also grew up with Superman, the animated series. So it takes all the good things about that and it gives you this solid show. And I'm telling you, you do not want to miss it. It's debuting tonight, which is technically July the 6th at midnight. And I highly recommend you go and check it out. Okay. I'm posting this right now. I'll talk to you guys later. If you guys want to know more on my thoughts of each episode, I can record an individual episode review, maybe a little bit shorter than this, and give my impressions with that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell button, and remember, do not miss this episode. I promise you, you're going to immediately fall in love with the man that can fly again and make you believe. Take care, people. Have a good one. Filing out the top of I can see the skyline, 50 mile radius on my timeline.